Hello, I am Francine Bonjour-Carter, and I welcome you for our grounding practice, 15 minutes to connect to yourself, to your body, and to feel and find your inner ground and inner safety. Today I want to especially focus on something that is simple and that you can do anywhere, anytime. And because we're entering in this infamous holiday season where there's a lot of demand, a lot of stress and anxiety, and a lot of running around, I think it's really important to have a little space and a little time every day to take care of yourself, to find your center, and to sense yourself and your body, and kind of have this balance and regulation in between your nervous system, in between your emotions, your physical activity, and everything that's going on. So please have a seat. You can do this practice today. It's one where you can do sitting or standing. I will give the instructions for sitting, but you can translate if you want. So if you're sitting, please sit in the front of your chair because that gives you more room and more freedom around your pelvis and your hip joints. And you also have your feet flat on the floor if you are closer to the front edge of the chair, which is really important, especially when we talk about feeling grounded, taking advantage of the support of our skeleton and sensing our bones. So sense how your feet are on the floor. Sense your breathing. Just take a minute to feel where you are in space and kind of drop the outer environment to really bring your attention to your inner space, your inner landscape. And if that feels safe for you, please close your eyes. If not, you can just leave your eyes open and have them soft. And pay attention and bring your hands on your face. And let's start by exploring our face, which we may not do that often. So start by exploring around your eyes, your right hand around your right eye, the left hand around the left eye, and start by sensing the bone, the orbit of your eye, this circle of bony space around each of your eyes. And be soft with your hands, be gentle on your face. You can be your best friend, your best caretaker. And then sense your jaws and your temporal mandibular joint is right in front of your ear on each side. And if you slowly, gently open your mouth, you can feel the movement. You can feel that joint right there. And then go down and sense your lower jaw, the edge, which is quite a little sharp down there. And bring your hands on your lap or on your desk, table, whatever you have in front of you. And pay attention to the cavity of your mouth, inside your mouth. Where is your tongue? Is your tongue resting at the bottom of your mouth, or is it touching the roof of your mouth? Is it pressing against your upper teeth or pressing against your lower teeth? How do you sense your tongue? Is it flat, curved? Is it narrow or wide? Does it feel light or heavy? And sense the space in your mouth. If you were to draw a midline, a line to divide your mouth in two, the right side and the left side, are they the same? does one feel clearer, wider, narrower than the other one? Is one more easy to sense? So you're really bringing all your attention to this space inside of your mouth, and you're just sitting, so nothing else is engaged. You feel your pelvis on your seat, your feet on the floor. Do you have space in between your upper teeth and your lower teeth, or are they touching? Okay. And leave that and slowly open your mouth. And I'd like you to sense what's going on when you open your mouth, which is your lower jaw going down and coming back up. So that's the only moving part in our whole head. You have your skull resting on the top of your spine. Your skull is made of, this whole area, and then your upper jaw is attached. It's part of your skull. And what moves when you open your mouth, it's just this relatively thin bone, your lower jaw, that is going down and comes back up. Can you have a sense of that? Okay, and leave that. And make an L shape with your hands. So you have an L, your fingers are together, your thumb is away. You make two L's, and you put one right below your lower lip on your chin, as if you wanted to make yourself a beard, and you put your other hand on top of it. And you rest your elbows down on your chest, just resting there where it feels comfortable. And from this position, you lift your head a little bit, just a tiny bit, and you come back. And because that might be a movement that you never have done before, I would suggest that you go really slowly and you move just a tiny, tiny bit. If it's a few millimeters, a quarter of an inch, it's enough. What we're doing here is sensing and having more information about what we sense in our body. It's not about doing big movement or being able to do X, Y, Z. We are not interested in the destination, but really in the journey, in the travel, in the process. So what you're doing right now is the inverse of what we usually do, because now we are keeping our lower jaw in place and moving our whole skull around it relative to our lower jaw. So allow yourself to open your mouth from the upper part of your skull, from your skull actually, from the upper part of your head. And notice if your eyes are moving, and notice how is your breathing. Do you stop breathing when you do that? Okay, leave that alone. Bring your hands down and have a rest for a few seconds. And just sense how you feel, sense how you sense yourself, sitting or standing. In the Feldenkrais method, it's very important to do this little pause and rest times, because it gives you the opportunity to process, to assimilate the new information, the new movement, the new connection that you are doing. And it's a very deep process. It really goes, your brain is really rewiring, repatterning through these movements. So don't overlook the rest and allow yourself the time to pause. We very rarely do that during our days, and we are in a culture that doesn't emphasize and doesn't foster this resting. So do it. Take advantage of it right now. So again, bring your two hands as an L and put them on your chin so you can keep your lower jaw immobile not moving. And this time, look up. So really bring your eyes into the movement. Be intentional about looking up slowly, slowly, slowly as you move your skull, as you lift your head, keeping your lower jaw in place, and you bring it back slowly. I really want to emphasize the slow movement and tiny movement, especially if you have some sensitivity in your neck, shoulder, and jaw, and especially because I'm not in the same room to see what you're doing. So you have to take care of yourself. And so really bring your eyes in the movement and look up as if you were to follow a line, like a curved line that goes up and comes back. And do that a few times. Sense your breathing. Be sure that the movement you're doing is so small and so slow, which means that it feels safe for your whole entire system and organization. And if it feels safe, your breathing is not changed. You don't hold your breath. You don't feel this, constraint in your chest. So make sure that your movement is small and slow and you take your time. And so that your breathing is easy. And maybe you find out that your breathing matches in a way your movement. Maybe it's easier for you to breathe in as you lift your skull and look up, keeping your lower jaw in place. Or maybe it's easier to breathe out. So try both. Do a couple movements where you breathe in. And if you need a rest, in fact, anytime you need a rest with your arms, you need a break, don't wait for me to say so. Just pause, bring your hands down, and then you resume the movement when you feel ready. So you did a couple of movements when you breathe in, and now do a couple of times the same movement when you breathe out. So your hands, keep your chin in place, your lower jaw in place. And you open your mouth from your skull, so your skull goes up, lifts. Good, and leave that alone. Rest your hands, your arms. Again, sense the space in your mouth. Where is your tongue? How do you feel in your neck, in your throat? How does your breathing feel? Okay. And bring your hands again on your chin. You make an L. You bring your hands on your chin so you keep your lower jaw in place. And you will do the same movement of lifting your head, your skull, around your lower jaw. And this time, imagine you have an eye in the back of your head. If you've been doing these grounding practices with me for a little while, you know that I love to put eyes everywhere. So this time you have an eye in the back of your head, which is a really important eye to have in terms of body awareness. It's an important image or little trick. And you do the movement from the perspective of this eye. So now, instead of looking up with the two real eyes you have on your face, you look down with the eye you have in the back of your head. I want to do it because I really like this one. Right. And you can sense how the back of your neck gets a little shorter as you do that. And the front of your neck gets a little longer. So you move your skull and you keep your lower jaw in place, And as you move your skull, you look down from this eye, imaginary eye you have in the back of your head. So it goes to look toward the floor behind you, toward your lower back maybe. And don't do such a big movement that you feel strained or pulled or stretched or whatever. Keep it really simple, small, and pleasant. That's very important. Okay, and let that go. Come back, bring your hands down, your hands on your lap, and sense the space in your mouth again. The right side, inside the cavity of your mouth, the right side, the left side. How do you sense your head resting on your spine? In the very back, bottom of your skull. How is your breathing? How do you sense the cool air coming in as you breathe in through your nose? Do you sense it in the back of your mouth? How is the space in between your lower teeth and your upper teeth? Good. And we are at the end of our time for today. And I hope you enjoyed this practice. It's something you can do anytime, anywhere. And I would suggest that you practice it, even if it's a few minutes, 5 minutes here and there. It's really important to build this awareness of our body and to do this very slow movement that help us to tune in, to really bring our attention inside and to care for ourselves in a pretty authentic and deep way. If you have any comment, any question, I'm here. You can find me on Facebook, Francine Bonjour-Carter, and you can contact me through my website, francinebonjour.com. I wish you a good day. Bye-bye.